Welcome to Wrazel's introduction of Kyle Turley and Neuro XPF. Kyle, it is a pleasure to have you here today and getting ready to make a major announcement to our guests and our audience online. You all know Kyle, I'm sure, from his career in the NFL. He's had an amazing career as a football player and as a businessman and as a country western singer. He surprised me one day while we were driving through town. He flipped on the radio and said, take a listen to this. And this guy's singing this gorgeous song and amazing lyrics that kind of tug at your heart, only to find out Kyle wrote it, produced it, and recorded it. So I can't say enough about your accomplishments. It's a real pleasure to have association with you and to be embarking on this journey with you, Kyle.
I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. It's great to be with Wrazel. Life it finds you in weird and compromising positions and things that can change your life, And when you're in those moments, you never know where it's going to take you. And it brought me here to Wrazel. I almost didn't hold too much value after having accomplished all those great things that you mentioned. And this plant saved my life. And so I've been on my mission ever since to really try and spread that message and tell the world about it.
And you're doing a great job doing it. And I give you kudos, as they say, for what you've done for the industry, for the plant. Your passion is infectious. Your business model, the Neuro XPF products are fabulous. Having tested them myself for a number of weeks, suffering from a lot of injuries of my own, spent a lot of time in aches and pain kind of status, and I've been using the product, and I've got a great relief from it. And so it is really a pleasure to be here, to speak to you, and to share with this audience what we're doing. So
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Brian.
It's great, Kyle. Thank you so much. And I think it's worth saying, Kyle is a very intelligent, capable businessman. But the thing I like most about you, Kyle, is your heart. You're just a good dude. You got a good, solid resolve to do good in the world. And I think that is it's worth noting because a lot of people don't care. And I think the fact that you care and want to bring your product to the market to help people is it's admirable, and it's really credit worthy. And I think that people should embrace your sincerity and your genuineness when you say, cannabis can cure COVID-19. You believe it because you've had experiences that would suggest that it can.
Well, and not only that, if you don't believe in something, if you're not passionate about it, then the people that are going to be your consumers, especially, if you don't want to be in the premium product business, if you're not truly trying to produce a product or create a business that is going to make a difference for people, whether that's raising funds or resolving health issues. If you're not passionate behind it and have that personal experience, I really don't know how you could really translate that to someone else.
Yep.
And so my personal experience, has driven me to produce a premium product. A product that is going to change lives when it's used, and when people have the opportunity to use CBD, as the science is continuing to expose, the endogenous cannabinoid system that exists within each and every mammal, human and animal, is in direct control of these key components to defeating any virus. There's over 200,000 viruses that are known and counting. There's over 350,000 viruses that are unknown as far as science understands this. So how can we put ourselves in a position to defend ourselves now and moving forward in the future? It's through companies like Wrazel that get it done and get it done right, and producing premium products that give people results. CBD is one of those things that can change people's lives. That's how we came to know of CBD. Charlotte Figge stopped her from having 300 plus seizures a day to nothing, So the science behind this is very real.
Yeah.
It will catch up. The medical community will catch up. And fortunately, we have the opportunity in this industry to take something that is unbelievably beneficial to your health to say the least, without being stricken by the FDA, of what it can do. And the testimonies speak for themselves.
Fabulous words. And I think this is the right time to make the announcement that the Wrazel Fund is proud and pleased to announce that we are going to invest in the company and help you take it to the next level.
I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you so much. I mean, to have the opportunity to not just accelerate my business, but my message, has taken, a team effort, truly, from my wife and all of the people around me that support me, and to now have the opportunity to, bring this to the rest of the world with partners in business that know how to help me in this simple message of this simple plant and what it can do for you simply. I mean, this is powerful stuff, and and especially at this time, truly grateful to be in an industry where we can say we're working and moving forward.
Well, we're behind you. We believe in
Thank
it,
you.
and we believe in the product. We believe in you. We believe in your vision. We believe in what you've created, and we're excited to be partners with you in the Neuro XPF
Thank you. Very
brand.
honored.
So that is the beginning of a new relationship for Wrazel and for Kyle, for me as the CEO of Wrazel. This is an exciting venture for us. As some of the audience is probably aware, Wrazel began to develop a fund a few months back and is securing the capabilities to garner an interest in brands like Neuro XPF that we believe in. And we are excited that not only are we joining you, but that you're joining us, and that through your efforts, you're introducing us to sponsors who have vision for other great products. And Kyle is now part of the Wrazel team and will be working alongside of me. We'll be working together to promote the services that Wrazel provides and to engage a great audience. And so we're looking at our future with great expectations for a great outcome.
Very much so, man. Having the opportunity to play in the National Football League gave me the chance to see what it takes to make, championships happen.
Yeah.
And it takes a great effort by a lot of people. It takes that great team effort. To have the opportunity with Wrazel, to take my experiences in the cannabis industry now for over 5-6 years, after having that experience personally of it truly saving my life, and then realizing I've got to get this to other people, is really important. To say the least, in this conversation, and moving forward with premium products that can change lives. Being in this industry for the last 5 years and going to all the trade shows and having this experience now to know the right way to do business is why I'm here. It's why I'm here at Wrazel. It's why our conversations have progressed to where they are and where we're going to go in the future, and why I'm going to continue to bring all the other connections that I've made in the industry to the Wrazel family, and hopefully give them the opportunities, as it is a common theme in this industry, to what Wrazel can do for you.
Yeah, well said. And just to take off from that point, we have a desire to fund legitimate products that are sponsored by legitimate business people and people who, like yourself, are passionate, have had a personal experience that's been life-changing, to really appreciate the plant. I was talking to my wife, Michelle, just earlier today about the reality that when we came into this industry, we came into the cannabis arena with the idea that we would make a pivot from the arena that we were in and begin to provide equity solutions to people in the cannabis space, because we saw it as a potential profit margin and profit center. And since being in the industry, what we've learned is not only are there a lot of really interesting and fabulous people with a lot of depth and color and ambition toward furthering the plant, we've begun to appreciate the fact that the plant has been misunderstood by the major portion of the population. Most people, myself included up until just recently, thought the cannabis plant was a plant we used to get high, and it was just a recreation plant, not appreciating the medical benefits and not understanding the endocannabinoid system and what you were just speaking about. And so getting behind the plant from the standpoint of the good that it can do and the lives that it can touch, we share a passion to want to cure the opiate addiction and to address it with something that's holistic and healthy and that will change lives. We share a passion to want to help children who are suffering from other disorders, autism, post-traumatic stress disorder, on and on. These are things that we can do with this plant.
And get people surfing again.
Yeah.
That's the amazing part of it. I mean, to have the opportunity to give people their lives back.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbelievable. The business of cannabis incorporates the two components that just make working in this industry special: health and wealth.
Yeah.
If you can tap into those, it's been the mantra of many companies that have succeeded in this industry. Capitalize on all of this. Make sure that you're giving your energy towards both of those things equally, and you will have both of those things come back to you.
Well said again, Kyle. Well said again. I think another area that we share an interest in that bodes well for us and is an area and a topic that most people shy away from sharing is our faith in God and our belief that God is not only real, that God invented the plant and like everything else on the planet that he's invented. And I think standing up and being recognized as men who believe in God and trust in God's sovereignty and want to do something to serve God. I appreciate being on a team with you in that endeavor and you being on our team in that endeavor. That's a battle I want to continue to fight, and I think it's going to do well for us.
The herbs of the earth are for the benefit of man. This is in every book, not just the one, not just this one, that one, every one of them. And so this translation has been for thousands of years that everyone has known about this great plant. And the opportunity that we have in this industry, Brian, is limitless because of those reasons. We're doing God's work, right? My favorite analogy is that, in everything that I've been doing in this, I have not been wrong. I've been wrong of so many things in my life, but when I've committed my life to the understanding that there's a greater purpose to why I'm here and put it into my opportunity and business, I've received nothing but blessings, Brian. And I think that everybody can understand that, and it transcends no matter which book you believe in. This plant has been a part of it from the beginning.
Amen. Love it. So what I'd like to do is I take some questions from the audience, get into the weeds, and address some of the concerns. So we had a question. So he's asking, what are the near and future goals of Neuro XPF?
We've been a company that's been in existence for about 5 years. Originally started as Neuro Armor. Under Armour came at us when we sold our first million, or about to reach there, and we had to change the name or spend another $1 million. So Neuro XPF has been the mantra that we've been pressing since. We kept the neuro side of this because of the government's patent on it as a neuroprotectant. And so that actually does exist, and really wanted to expose that. Our futures continue to be accelerated through the growth of the industry in general, and we have been specifically a THC-free line, really trying to expose the THC-free component. In creating a sports line, athletes have to be tested at least up until last year because of the great efforts of many who really fought hard to eliminate drug testing, and now we have the NCAA increasing their allowance of THC, which is going to allow athletes to use full spectrum CBD products. To the NFL now saying they are no longer suspending players, and all the other major league sports, baseball coming out and saying they're done with testing for cannabis. So the progression of Neuro XPF is a full spectrum line. Neuro XPF Plus, and we are going to add the full allowance of THC, the FDA government ratio, maximizing that opportunity to its fullest potential. to offer a full spectrum product that will produce results. And then into the THC markets. Neuro XPF 9 is what we're calling it. I'm maybe giving some things away, but I think our patent people have already resolved that. So we're going to be accelerating that to the full plant opportunity, even into the cannabis space. We're still trying to work out the ability to do that and remain a hemp, company.
Right.
It's going to be a separate entity, but Neuro XPF continues to move forward as the premier sports line of CBD that athletes can use as this conversation progresses. And then, distribution, obviously, we're tapping into more opportunities to get our products to more people.
One of the things that's been really interesting, Kyle, is in a number of the conversations that we've had, where you brought in ex-players, guys that came out of the NFL, the great amount of respect that they have for you and the great amount of trust they have in your leadership with regard to the product and the use of the product. You really have been a pioneer in getting people comfortable with using it and getting them to understand its benefits. So I think the direction that you're going in makes a lot of sense. And one of the reasons that we made the decision we made, and hope that addresses the audience question.
Yes.
So first and foremost, you market yourself as a sports supplement company. Why is that?
Well, why we went into, finding our niche as a sports supplement company is because there wasn't one at the time. I was a professional athlete, had the experience of a professional football career, then had the opportunity to deal with all of the implications of playing a football career of 10 years. And that was a broken body. And so having that resolution brought me to the early stages of the cannabis industry about only 5 years ago. This is an unbelievably infant industry. People just forget that how young this truly is. And we were in really backroom hovels, trying to stay away from the cops and people, to experience these things. And I had friends in the industries as I grew up an extreme sports kid in Southern California, but ironically never used the plant myself until mid-20s, truly medicinally. And then having that experience of going to those events and trying these extractions made me realize that you can have this opportunity to get this to sports. It's been taboo for too long, and so I knew that that needed to be changed. And the branding and the marketing and the products, what you see here wasn't around. And we actually were the first sports supplement line company in the CBD space. There was nobody doing a sports line before Neuro Armor. And that then now has grown to a number of sports-specific lines. And the THC-free component, that's the key. The opportunity for every doorstep in America, whether you play sports, you're a professional, or a weekend Joe, you have the opportunity to use cannabis at the base level of opportunity for healing in the THC-free market space. And that, for me, just spoke so loudly of screaming to need to get in. This is how we do it. This is how we get it into sports. I had the full experience of THC and all of these things because that's how I started to understand this plant and what it could do in the different strains and why those were, after having those tested, terpene content, CBD content, all of these cannabinoids that are in this profile matter. And so in being able to do that, produce these premium products, and the opportunity to get that in sports, I knew that my experience after a 10-year riddled NFL football lineman body of what it could have been if I had started in the beginning when I started playing sports as a kid. And I now have given my own kids and plenty of other kids CBD out there, because of it. And we have sponsors, Pylon 7-on-7. That was our way into Pylon 7-on-7. Being palatable is important. Having a premium product important, and having a focus and a purpose of something like THC free to really expose this to get down to the youth level. Pylon 7-on-7 is a massive youth football platform, and they allowed us to have a full tent at their brand new Atlanta Falcons stadium 2 years ago with banners up and around a bunch of kids, and to explain this to these mothers who are worried about their kids' future in playing a contact sport, and which they should be, and why I'm working in the space I'm working in and why I do what we do is to truly expose that so we can keep playing these sports.
I think you shared an experience with us you might want to share with the audience about a child who was near death, and you brought CBD to the family because they'd reached out to you expressing a need to hear your story only from the consideration of wanting some hope. And then you actually brought product to the family, and what happened?
Sure, yeah. I mean, the experiences are many. Owning a CBD company, the most interesting part about it, an amazing, thing that helps me sleep every night, no matter through the struggles of the industry and the ups and downs. Wanting to quit sometimes even because things become so difficult. It's the stories, these testimonies of the people, every time over the last 4 years where business has become stressful because I've got these injuries to deal with and a post-football brain, and this is an organic company that I started. Having those stories has motivated me more than anything. And having the opportunities from a professional boxer who was knocked unconscious in a coma, reached out to him on social media, sponsored by Rock Nation. I mean, big time fighter who had aspirations and the opportunity to be a championship fighter for many years, knocked unconscious in a fight out of California. He was a Southern California kid and placed into a coma, multiple brain surgeries. I contacted, through social media, which I do all the time. When I see people, I just try to reach out. And, having these resolutions from individuals like him who's able to survive when the doctors came to the family and said, you have to really consider that he's not going to be with you anymore. And if he is, he's going to be a vegetable for life, to go on to a, career in scholastics. Post-injury, studying abroad at these amazing universities, and now being paraded around, and his cousin truly saying he woke up 30 minutes after I put this in his mouth. So, these things are happening, and to why we have on our 250 milligram bottle of our tinctures, a young man, Donovan Hill, who lost his life ultimately to playing youth football. And a statistic reigns and will forever reign in youth football that 10 to 20 kids die every year from traumatic brain injuries, and 10 to 20 other kids are placed in wheelchairs and paralyzed the rest of their lives. And these families have to live with these things, especially the paralyzation scenarios. And so I had this opportunity to meet a young man who was in this situation who said nothing but cannabis helped him, nothing but. And, an unbelievable predicament. He ultimately lost his life, so we honored him and placed him on our 250 milligram bottle because that's our low dose. That we really want to try to make sure that message gets down to those kids, and put a great image of him when he was playing football, where he was a tremendous player, going on to those next levels. But at 13 years old, youth football became a statistic. And these statistics don't have to exist. So from the average everyday statistics that mount in all of these issues that we deal with that don't have to exist, to these extreme scenarios and situations of medical conditions, this plant has an opportunity to address those. This can address these issues. It can cure these diseases if you give it its opportunity and you give it a chance.
Great words. Again, another question.
Sports store, no wonder, and now the THC hemp is also the one. So what do you see in Neuro XPF future in the international market?
In the international market, again, that's why I created this company, THC Free, because the THC conversation continues to be the way that they can continue to put up walls and continue to build these notions of that this is marijuana. So the opportunity in a THC-free branded product becomes now global. And so we ship product overseas constantly. We don't take responsibility as it is right now for these orders, but we're shipping product all over the world. And we have faith in our product that if it is compromised by an agency, that all of our ducks are in a row. THC free, all of our QR codes that can directly lead you to all the testing on our products, to each individual product, having these opportunities to explain what this is. And what we have created with Neuro XPF is that opportunity globally. And so really excited about the future in that market.
We see that Neuro XPF has, a wide variety of products. Would you mind telling us a little bit about each of your product lines?
Sure. We have a table full of products over there, right in front of us here. Our product line consists, currently of our THC-free line, and, it's about 12 SKUs. And we have the, original tinctures, MCT oil, water soluble, our topical, very effective. We take great pride in our products to not just oversaturate with an entire ridiculous list of products, but truly just try to get these things that are in the most palatable form and easiest to take for rapid absorption. Our focus is on that. It's on the bioavailability of CBD. And if we can get that into our systems, that's what our goal is. Our goal is to get it. So we try to stay away from flavors. I wish I could make this taste a little bit better, but this is the equivalent of a gallon of water, as that's nanoized in these 4 ounces, and includes a list of ingredients with that, that make this a very unique product that I could not, distort from what it was doing recovery-wise, if you will, because we can't get into the true medicinal natures of why I created this out of a product called MMF that the government created for recovering soldiers from traumatic brain injury. They were just missing CBD, and every doctor I talk to, talks about that, and that's the future of recovering from sports injuries and hydration, to our tinctures that are premium based with components that absorb fast. The MCT oil we use, our water soluble, combines with any liquid, and so product lines are going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to innovate, bringing along some sports drinks. More sports-oriented is where we're going. And but at the end of the day, it's about getting CBD into your system. And so we don't want to confuse everybody and make them believe that by using our lip balm, you're going to get the same experience as using our tincture. And so we really try to do our best to separate each and every product, and the ones we've added are just ones that continue to speak towards the applications in sports. Hopefully that answers the question. It's hard to really say, I'd love to have a ton of different SKUs in every kind of way, but really just focused on products that will demand results when applied.
Okay, so I think that this has been a great session. Again, I want to thank you for joining the Wrazel team. Thank you for the opportunity to own a piece of Neuro XPF, to be your financial backer. For those in the audience who are interested, if you have an interest in Neuro XPF, it's too late. Now you got to come through the Wrazel Fund, and you get a chunk through us, through the Wrazel Fund. It's still available, but the opportunity to go direct, we beat you to the punch, and we're glad we did, because we're excited about the product. And if you have an interest in procuring funds for a project that you're working on, come see us. Visit Wrazel.com and get your answers to the questions you have. Again, Kyle.
Thank you, Brian.
Great to have you on board. Great
Honored,
to be partnering
man. Thank
with
you so much.
It's awesome.